Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to another pick a card reading here at scatterlovetarot. We are going to do a fun reading today. I don't know, I feel like it's fun. It's just an informative, just to like kind of confirm your intuition, or just, for curiosity's sake. We're going to ask Source why. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I had my question ready and then I forgot. That's a human thing to do, but it came back. So we're going to ask Source, what do people find intimidating about you? Yes, that's what I was trying to... I was like, why are you intimidating? And I was like, oh no, that's not what I want to ask. Like, what do others find intimidating about you? We're going to get from their view and see what's going on. So with that being said, if these are resonating with you, please hit that thumbs up button, knowing that as you interact with the channel, it allows me to connect with your energy and get you out more resonant readings. So if it does resonate, make sure you subscribe to the channel, set that notification bell down below, and you're more than welcome to leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys, and I will answer them as soon as possible for as long as possible. Awesome. So I want to say thank you to everyone that has joined the tribe. It is truly an honor being here, serving you, and giving you guys access to this gift that has been channeled through me from Source. I'm truly honored, and I love each and every one of you, and know that you guys have a very special place among my heart. For those of you that know what is going on in my personal life and being transparent, and those of you sending out good wishes and prayers, you've touched me in a way that I'm so blessed. For those of you that understand what I'm going through, for those of you that are just giving your love and your prayers and your support at this time, it truly means so much to me and to my senior dog. We are one day at a time right now, and with that, it's just how it goes. So I do want to continue to give you guys your content because I know you appreciate it, as well as I want to show you my appreciation, and I thank you so much for your patience with me. So let's go ahead and get into your prayer, and let's get this thing kick-started and see, what do people find intimidating about you? Perfect. My beloved Source, today I pray for those that are on this video, that are on this channel in this tribe. I ask that you bless their hearts, bless their lives, bless all those that they love and are close to them and that they care about. I ask that you pass back the love that they've given to me tenfold, because they've shown me that humanity is still humanity, and that there is still people who love. And I ask that you guide them all onto their highest path, and remind them that this love that they give is also the love that they deserve to receive. And that is why I ask to pray for them today, for each and every one of them, to give them truth, to give them intuition, to give them knowing, to give them knowledge. Above all, Source, I ask that you give them the most sacred gift of all, and that is unconditional love, true acceptance of self, true acceptance of their journey, true acceptance of the hardships and the blessings. May they be a receptive vessel for your love and your light to shine through, so that they too may become their truest, authentic self. I ask that you watch over each and every one of them and be a guiding light in their life. And should they not believe in you, may whatever source or creator or being that they believe in, even if it's as simple as their highest self, be the light that shines through and shows the world that love still exists. As these words are spoken unto this space and onto this video, so shall they be. Amen. Aho, Aseh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. mash up in here. That's okay. The Ash of Love. Okay, so what do I want to choose from? I think I'm going to stick with my Intuition Oracle, guys. I'm obsessed. If you guys know, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I love this deck, but let's get one of these out for you. Give me a shuffle. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. I'm going to try and be myself today, guys. Life is better when sadness comes and goes. To be yourself is a beautiful thing always, even in the sad moments. So, source, for pile number 1, what oracle will help us understand what people find intimidating about them? Oh, that was quick. Okay. For pile number 2, what oracle card will help us understand what people find intimidating about pile number 2, source? One card, please. Whoa, thank you. Gosh, these cards are just so beautiful. Make me feel like we're in the Renaissance time. For pile number 3, source, what oracle card will help us understand what people find intimidating about them? Awesome. Okay. General message on the bottom, the intuitive. I'm tuned into the energy of those I care about. I love the synchronicity with the prayer that I just gave. I'm just saying, like, it's just it's intriguing how that works no matter what. And it's like Source is always saying, hey, I'm here, I love you, let me shine light on your journey, whatever you call Source. So for pile number 1, we have this beautiful rock to choose from. I hope you guys can see that okay. Okay. For pile number 2, we chose the bloodstone. And for pile number 3, we have this beautiful seashell. Found this in South Padre Island. Beautiful place. Saw the dolphins there. It was really cool. So we have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Whichever one you are drawn to, that should be the pile for you. Understanding these are general readings. If they do resonate, and whichever one you're called to, I will see you on that. Hello, my fellow humans that chose pile number 1. This is for those that chose either this beautiful image or this beautiful rock. This is going to be your reading on what do people find intimidating about you. Keeping in mind it is a general reading. However, if it does resonate, knowing that if you hit that thumbs up button down below, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. This interaction allows me to connect with your energy and get you out more resonant readings. So that being said, as always, let's start with the dice reading, and we'll ask Source, what do people find intimidating about you? So Source, for pile number 1, what do people find intimidating about pile number 1, Source? How can we help them better understand why people find them intimidating? What do people find intimidating about pile 1, Source? So we have 5th house, we have Saturn energy, and we have Cancerian energy. I literally, seriously almost said 69. That is hilarious. Oh, that is so funny. So I don't know, maybe that is a number that resonates with someone. So that's cool. It was just the way that Cancer was. It just made me think of 69 for some reason. I'm not trying to be dirty. I'm really, really not trying to be a cochina, okay? I'm not. That's not something I'm trying to be, okay? Like, no. Anyways, I'm just saying, like, that was funny that it came out. Anyways, back to our regular scheduled program, y'all. What are the dice talking about? Let's talk about 5th house. People find you intimidating because you guys are very spirited. You may actually have a lot of sexual energy that you put off, not knowingly or not trying to. Like, it's just you exude sexuality, and it's like, you know how some people are just like, you're just like, ugh, like that person, oh my goodness, I would love. So it's like you exude a lot of sexual energy, which is probably why I thought of 69 when I saw the dice. I'm not trying to laugh, but it's kind of making me blush, y'all. Like, I got a little bit of a blush going on here, like, woo, okay. So anyways, but you're actually someone who has a lot of attention around you, and sometimes you can be very dramatic in very funny ways, sometimes in very serious ways, but it's like what you're, okay, so not dramatic in a bad way. It's like your drama actually emphasizes what you're feeling, right? What you're going through, or what the situation at hand is. It's always appropriate for what's going on. There may be cases when it does get out of hand, and that's why some people may feel intimidated or find you intimidating. But in truth, mainly, you sacrificed a lot on your journey, and you've been disciplined, and you've done a lot for your journey, for yourself, and for whatever it is that you're doing in life that you have poured your heart and soul into. You are extremely disciplined, and it's like, I can't keep up with that grind. That's what I keep hearing. Okay, I'm still not trying to be dirty. Whoever was like, haha, I got you. Okay, I heard it as soon as it came out. Come back now, okay? So anyways, let's get back to it, guys. So yeah, you've really poured into your grind and really have done what you needed to do. And there's a lot of people that find that intimidating. Like, they maybe have tried to copy you, or they maybe have tried to keep up with you, and they're unable to. And on top of it, it's like, even though you've had a lot of hardships, we talk about Saturn being the planet of tough love. It truly is. This is where a lot of valuable lessons are learned. This is where we learn a lot of our karmic lessons, where we're letting go of our karmic situations and the retribution from those, and we're trying to clear the slate so that we can really enjoy the next level of our life and really let things begin anew, right? And that may have been really heavy for you. And it's not that you did anything wrong in a past life or in your past up until now. Understanding that many people who have a very rough Saturn or a very tough time with Saturn, right? Those lessons, it's simply because they serve a different type of purpose than the average Joe Schmo, okay? Or the Jane Schmaine, whatever you want to call it. So this is something that has to do with you've been through a lot, people have witnessed you going through a lot, and yet, above all, you're still this kind person. You're still genuine and you're sincere, and it's like, if somebody's hurting, like, you're the first person to show up and be like, hey, whoa, hold on, how can I help? Like, what do you need? Do you just need a shoulder to cry on? Do you need an ear to listen? Should we go get hot cocoa? Should we go to Starbucks? Should we get some hot tea going? Hey, let's get a bottle of wine. Let's go get a drink. Whatever it is, like, let's go out to lunch. Like, you're the person that's like, let's try to make this better, right? It's not you carrying people necessarily. You're just a genuine person. You don't want people to hurt because you know what hurt is. And that's what people find intimidating. It's like, no matter how much life gets you down, you're still a good spirit. You're still in good spirits. You're still high vibrational and fun and witty and charming and smart and intelligent. And it's like, every time people come back around and see you, if they haven't seen you for a while, it's like, you've changed, but you haven't changed. Like, your outgoing personality isn't changed, but like, you maybe have changed your view on things, and you maybe have changed the way that you absorb information or the way that you give wisdom and advice. This has all been altered constantly as you go along the journey. And that is something that's very intimidating. And yet still, no matter what the hardships are, it's like, why do I hear this song right now? I think it's by Jason Derulo. It's like, you thought I was gone, you thought I was losing sleep, but I'm still working hard 8 days a week. And if it gets too hard, I can hold my, if it gets too hard to breathe, I can hold my breath. Because every night a lonely teardrop falls in the sea. I can't remember everything, but it's something along that. It's like, but you thought I was gone. You thought I was losing sleep. Like, this is how some haters are with you. Like, they just really are like, oh, pile one is silent, so they must be gone. They finally fell on their face. They're finally done, you know? And then, boom, you show up and you're like, look, bitches, I'm back. Excuse the cursing. I don't like to curse on my channel, but that's like the energy that I'm getting. And you're like, hey, what's up, y'all? How's it going? How's it hanging? And they're like, why were you gone? And you're like, oh, let me tell you. It's not that you pour out your life or your air your dirty laundry. You're just like, hey, this, and this happened. I had to go take care of my shiznit and get that done, and you did, and you're like, look, okay, this is what I have now, and I'm good. Like, it was hard, it was difficult, but I'm back. I'm back, baby, I'm back. Because I'm the real shady, as I'm the real shady, and all you other shadies are just imitating, so won't the real Slim Shady please stand up? Please stand up. Like, I don't know why I got this song in my head right now, but that's how that felt. Like, look, I'm back, y'all. Stop imitating me. It's like when you're gone, people are trying to imitate. They're like trying to imitate what you're doing. And it's like, that's why they're intimidated. Oh my gosh, intimidated by you. Try to say those two words together 3 times fast. Hello. Right? They're intimidated by you because it's like, oh, I can do what pile one is doing, but then they're like tripped out because they don't have your grind. They don't have your ability to work hard. Let's get some tarot on it. For pile one source, what do others find intimidating? What do other people find intimidating about pile one? Thank you. What do people find intimidating about pile one source? What do people find intimidating about pile number 1? Whoa, okay, thank you. Yeah. No matter what happens, you always gain balance once again. Right? You could be, like, I feel like you have a lot of haters in your life, pile 1. Like, yeah, you have a lot of judgmental people in your life. And yet, no matter how much judgment comes at you, it's like people are judging you because, oh, like, you're working too hard. Like, they're judging you for something that they should be doing, or they are doing. They're, like, trying to judge you for it. It's like, they feel like you're lazy or something like this, and it's like, but then they judge you because you're working too hard. Like, the people who are intimidated by you have a lot of opinions about you, but they're wishy-washy. Like, they're never, like, solid opinions. It's always like, oh, pile 1 did this week. They're being lazy. So then the next week comes by and they're just, you know, moaning and complaining about it. And they're like, oh, now pile 1's working too hard and I can't keep up with their grind, sons of bees. You know, and that's what they're like. And it's like, everybody's like, what the heck? Like, okay, pick a side and go with it. Right? Yeah. And you always are willing to give, like, no matter how hard you work, like, you're still always willing to take a minute and be like, hey, let me give you something. Like, let me be there for you. Let's see what you're... Oh, you got some romantic haters, y'all. Like, woo. Okay, so you guys maybe have left a relationship, right? There may be a relationship that you left, and this is who's hating on you. This is who's intimidated by you. But there is people who want you, and they want to hit it and quit it. This is an energy of wanting to hit it and quit it. But they're too frustrated to approach you because it's like, okay, so what they're showing me right now is like someone who's a player themselves. Okay, right? Like they're used to getting whatever it is that they want out of life and whoever they want. And yet for some reason they can't bag you. And they're like intimidated because it's like you're not necessarily in the same energy that they are. It's like you're where they wish they could be. And it's like still in their mind they're thinking, oh, if I was where pile 1 was, then I would never have to worry about pile 1 pulling one off on me or not being able to bag pile 1. Do you see? So they're in this energy of like, this is really tripped out energy here, guys. Seriously. They can't make up their mind. They can't approach you though because they know if they approach you, like, if they come with just like, I just want to have a one-night stand with you, well, you're never going to accept that. But they also can't play their games with you because you've, like I was saying, you've grown too much. You've been through too much struggle for that. You're like, you either come at me like a human, a grown human, or don't come at all. Stop trying to play your games with me. I'm not a kid anymore. I'm not going to play these games anymore. I don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. And you really don't, pile one. You're like, no, get out. I'm done. I'm done with that. Like, and so because you're in a very high vibrational energy and you have options, and every time an option has come and tried to knock you off your path, right? And they're the ones that get angry. They're intimidated by you because you never switch up off your path. What's that song, Lupe Fiasco? Like, the show goes on. It's like, haters banging on their threats. What does that say? Banging heavy on their threats. They trying to knock you off your path. I don't switch up. I just laugh, unaffected by their threats. Put my kicks up on my desk. Like that's what's going on. Like, that's what you're just like, whatever. Like, cool. And that's why people are intimidated by you, because it's like you already dealt with people like this before, and you healed that wound, whatever that wound was, or like gained the wisdom from that situation, learned the lesson from that situation, and because of that, now you're in this place of understanding. I have control over who I wish to give my energy to. I have control over who I wish to spend my time with. And because they're not in that little circle of yours, they're intimidated by you, because it's like they're trying to poke and prod and like, hey, let me in. And you're like, no. Like, look, you already shown me your true colors. We're done. We played this game. We're over it. And that's why they find you intimidating. This is definitely an energy that's coming through on your reading, is someone that has tried to get you as a sexual partner. Not anything more. They didn't want anything more. They don't want emotion. They just want a very sexual encounter with you. And you are building your dream. You're in the process of finding out what is right for you. Creation of a new project. That's what I was saying. Like, whatever you guys are pouring your time and energy into, that has your attention. That has your attention. And it's like, whoever this energy is, or this could be a group of people that are kind of on that same vibe, right? And they're like mad because it's like you just basically dropped off the face of the planet in their lives so that you can focus on whatever it is that you're doing over here, because whatever you're building, it at least gives back to you. It's like, if I put my effort into this, I'm seeing progress. But if I put my effort into people like this, I don't see anything. I don't get a return on that. Like, it's like a money deficit, right? But it's actually an energetic deficit here. Like, I'm giving my energy and I'm in an energetic deficit with you, because you're not actually filling back the bank or anything. You're not giving back to me. And so you're like, I'm done with that. And so you're working and building what's good for you, and taking what is good, the path that's right for you, and finding help or resources where you can. We have the Ace of Spades coming out, also depicting the Ace of Swords, just saying the truth. Like, that's really what Source is saying with this flying out. That's the truth that's coming through. And that's another thing that people are intimidated by, is because you speak the truth. You may be someone who doesn't take BS, okay? Like, with this energy, I would highly believe that you don't take BS. So, like, if someone is lying to your face, you're going to call them out. You're going to be like, hey, I know for sure that's a lie. I had a circumstance, and this is what they keep pointing me towards. I had a circumstance not too long ago, whereas, like, I saw someone give a half-truth. Right? And I knew they gave a half-truth, and they were giving it to someone else, and it was over the phone and everything like that. And I just sat there and I watched the whole time, and I was like, this is ridiculous. And I said, while they were on the phone, I said it out loud. I said, that's not what was said. And they just shook their head yes and agreed with me and continued on with their conversation, ended the phone call. And I said, so why did you say that? And they're like, well, I don't feel like I need to go into detail. And I'm like, seriously? I was like, but you told a half-truth. And they're like, well, but they don't need to know everything. And I said, this was somebody that needed to know the truth. Okay, I don't need to go into detail about who it is, but this was someone who needed to know the truth. And so I looked at them and I said, do you like getting told half-truths? And they said, well, no. And I said, so why would you do that to another person? Let me tell you, they stood up and walked away. So I feel like that's the type of energy that you bring. Like that's a kind of situation that you bring to people, and they don't like it because they don't have, there's nothing they could come back with after that. Right? It's like you basically called them out, and it's like you gave a reason, and then you ask them to answer their own question, right? Like answer your own energy. Is that something you would like done to you? And when they say no, you're just like, okay, so why? And then they're like, well, and they have nothing left to say. So we have the Pope coming out with the 5 of Diamonds. You guys are this key to wisdom for people. And that's the thing, I feel like that's what people were taking away from you, Pile 1, is your wisdom. They would come in and they'd be like, oh, Pile 1, you helped me out so much. And so it's like they were only reaching out to you. They could be sending you a message or just contacting you because they need help with whatever's going on in their life. But they never reach out to say, hey, Pile 1, how are you? Hey, Pile 1, how is this? Okay, that's the energy that you'd been dealing with. And now when these people reach out to you, you're like, what do you want? Because every time you reach out to me, all you only want something. You don't actually care about what's going on in my life. Because as soon as I tell you how I am, you immediately go right into what you need. And it's like you don't actually care about what's happening in my life. And that's what people find intimidating about you, because you speak this direct, blunt truth. You're not mean. This is not being mean. This is just a direct truth. It's like being honest and calling people out when you know it's a lie. And your work ethic here. We have the 8 of Diamonds here being represented by someone building this quilt, right? Like building it from scratch. This is something you've built with your hands. This is something you put your hands on. This is something that you're, okay, I'm not trying to be dirty again, okay? Bring it back. I heard someone laughing out loud right now, and I'm not trying to be dirty. I'm really not. Okay, y'all mind's in the gutter, okay? Calm down. It's not a bad thing. That's a hilarious thing, but woo, okay? But whatever you've done, you built from the ground up, and like you work hard and you spend time on it. Like when others are trying to ask you to come out, you say no, and that's what people find intimidating about you, because you're willing to say no to things that other people would feel obligated to say yes to. But you don't. You're like, no, if it doesn't serve my journey, if it doesn't serve me, it's not to say that you always skip out on fun time, right? Because you're a very fun person. You like things that are fun. Your whole thing, though, is that if it's not serving its purpose in your life, whether that's to take your mind off of things or if it's distracting you, you're going to say no. You know, it's like if it takes your mind off of things so that you can integrate or whatever, you're fine with that. You're like, cool, I need some getaway time. I need to spend some time away from what's going on. Like, that's fine. But if you're in the middle of a project or you're in the middle of a deadline, you're not going to, like, back up and be like, oh, no, I'm sorry. You know, I should probably go have fun instead of meet this deadline. Like, you're not like that. You're like, no, I have a deadline that I have to catch, and that is the number one most important thing to me right now. So, unfortunately, as much as I would enjoy to come with you, it's not going to happen. And so you take your time and you do what is good for you. You're original like that. So let's check out some oracle cards on it. What do people find intimidating about you? Because you are on this path of beautiful blessings. You have a lot of things that just happen to fall into your lap, or seemingly fall into your lap, but that's the thing. It's like they don't, again, everybody's intimidated by your hustle, but they don't realize that your hustle is what's gaining you all your blessings, what's helping you with your manifestation. So others find you intimidating because it's like they feel like you're living the life of their dreams, even though if anybody stepped into your shoes, this is the thing, Pile 1, if anyone stepped into your shoes, they would never ever do the things that you're doing to get where you're going. That's the thing. It takes a very special soul and a very special mindset in a person who's willing to work hard to gain access to this life that they've dreamed of. So many people will dream about it, but they'll never put in the effort that comes with that. Yes, we have Elephant leadership with number 10 here coming out over the Ace of Swords or the Ace of Spades. You are a leader. You are a leader, and this intimidates people. This is something that people are like, again, that I wish I was a leader. I wish I was capable of influencing others the way that Pile 1 does. We already heard it earlier in the reading that you have this energy about you where when you leave, people are trying to imitate you. And that's why they're intimidated by you, because it's like they can't imitate what you're doing because you're a true leader. When you have a true leader versus a mock leader, it's like you know the difference, because a mock leader is going to tell everyone to do the work for them, and a true leader is going to get their hands dirty. They're going to get out in the front lines and help, right? And that's exactly what you're doing right now, and what you do when it comes to the things that are important in your life. Square. A challenging situation, a mountain to climb. This is why people are intimidated. Didn't I just say no one would do the work that you were doing? Like, no one would put in that effort. And that's why, because it is a challenge. It is. It's a mountain to climb. Every step gets you a step closer. You're not worried about the climb, right? You just keep focusing on the top, the end result, the goal, whatever it is that you have on your mind that is your destination for this situation. You're just focusing on that. You don't even look behind you. You know, it's like you're like, I'm just on the go. Put my head down and work, and do it. And focus on what needs to be done and do it in the here and now. And that's what scares people. Like, they're just like, wow, pile one never, ever, ever gives up. Never gives up. And you don't. You don't. So let's check out your oracle card here. This like feels like the sun is shining on you. Like maybe you're not very colorful, right? It's like you're not trying to stand out. I don't feel like you are trying to stand out. But whatever you're doing, this feels like planting seeds to me, like throwing seeds down. Like that's what it looks like. I don't know if the seeds in his basket or not, but it kind of looks like it. But it's like the sun is shining on you because you're just planting your seeds. It's like you're throwing down your seeds, and you know what it takes to take care of those seeds. You come back and you water them, you have them on a schedule, you take care of them, you weed, you prune them, you make sure that they're healthy. If it has a bug infestation, I'm sorry, but this is the information they're giving me. If it has a bug infestation, you do what's necessary to get rid of them. You eliminate the threats, you eliminate the problems, you focus only on what needs to be done to grow the crop. And with that, you are seeing things come together for you. You're seeing the blessings. You're understanding now that you're a leader. And that's what people find intimidating about you. Look at this light behind this elephant's head. You see this in this card, the light that we have here? And then look, and the sun is like behind his head here. Or their head. I don't know if that's a guy or a girl. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's behind their head. And it's shining bright. And it's like set on fire. It's like you're constantly in connection with either your higher self, your intuition, the divine. Like you're constantly in this connection, knowing what it takes. And it's interesting because this particular picture, it looks like it's sewn together. Like honestly, some of you may live in Colorado. I'm not trying to call you out on video or anything like this, but this absolutely some reason gives me Colorado flag vibes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're welcome to look it up. But that some of you guys may be from Colorado or live in Colorado. However, this is giving me like stitched vibes here, and that's very resonant with this because these hands are stitching this quilt, right? And so it's like you've stitched your life into existence, and it's like one step at a time. You know eventually there will be a finished product. It will be shining bright. It will be standing firm. It will have, you know, a foundation that you can rely on and share with others. And that's the thing, it's behind this town. So with it being behind this town, not only is it shedding a light on you, like it's like your light is lighting up others who are on a similar journey for you. It's a very sweet journey, right? It's something that people rely on. Like you could have a channel on YouTube, or you could have TikTok or some kind of social media. It's like they wait for your notifications. They wait for you to come through. And they're very excited when you do. They're like, oh, it's pile one. They're here. Like, and that's why others are intimidated by you, because it's like there are so many people that admire and adore you, and that's very intimidating, especially with fifth house energy here. This is Leo energy, and Leo's connected with the sun, right? Leo's connected with the sun. And when we think about the sun, that's our ego and our ability to be a leader and influence. And it's like you think about the sun and its cycles, right? Does the sun ever question its job? No, it rises every day. right? No matter if it's on your side of the world or another side of the world, it rises every day without fail, and every day it sets without fail. So it can go and continue its job. It's constantly revolving, right? Even though we're going around the sun, okay? Even though, yes, I know that we revolve around the sun, but that's the thing. It never gives up. It's just standing there bright and shining bright, and it rises and it sets, and that's the job that it has, is just to ensure that life is here on Earth, to keep the Earth warm. Even in the winter, it keeps the Earth from freezing into this block of ice. And so that's the beautiful thing. It's like, that's what you're doing. You're rising every day, and every night you go to bed, and you're rising every day, and every night you go to bed. And in that in-between time, you're doing your task, whatever is your task. Oh, I love this. So we have number 30, the farmer. I enjoy being of service to those who deserve it. What was I saying earlier? You are in this energy of only giving to people who are worthy of receiving your love, because it's like, if you give to me, I'll give to you. Or if I give to you and you give back to me, I'll continue to give to you, right? And so many people in your life have not done that. And so that's why people are intimidated by you, because you have cut the cord with so many that did not give to you. Let's read this out of the book real quick and see what it says. So also, I am getting the message that 22 may be a number that you see often, or it may mean something. I don't know why that came through, but I heard it. So let me turn this over. It says, when you do work that you love, you always want to do your best. All your energies get channeled into making your business an extension of you and what you love to do. A world of businesses built on a foundation of love is a noble goal and an attainable one. Those who love their work may also find that it gives them the opportunity to meet others who share their interests and passions. The psychological and material rewards you reap from fulfilling work are priceless. However, a career is not something you have to give your life to in total commitment. Service work may be calling outside of your career. Sometimes one must put his or her own needs second to another for a time. Some people do this gladly, but if an imbalance goes on for too long, if the one providing the service is asking to do things that they are not willing to do, a relationship can become stuck. And that's exactly the energy that you have right now. It's like you had people who weren't willing to give or put your needs before theirs. And that's the thing. It was like you saw the stuck energy and you let it go. And that's why people find you intimidating. Like it's like, this is the thing. It's like they're intimidated by the fact that you are someone who is humble. You are someone who is of humanitarian descent. Like, you like to give to others, but only to those that show they're worthy of being in your life. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I do want to grab, just real quickly, I read that, but just for some reason I feel like I should grab a few descriptions. These are not going to resonate with all of you, pile one. However, it is always fun just to see. So, Source, let me take off my ring so I don't lose it in the bag. So, Source, what do others find intimidating about pile one? Can you give us some descriptions about pile one that they find intimidating? Whoa, that was a ton. Is that all? Let's see. I'm saying. Okay, and that one. That was a ton. I was only looking for a few. Bold, because you're bold. Yes, I love that. What else, Source? Strong. Yeah, we got that earlier too. You're a very strong individual, very strong character with bold energy. Yeah, I love that. What else? Smooth. You're a smooth operator. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. What else? Neat. You may have a very neat appearance, or you may be very tidy. These are things that people find intimidating about you. Blue or green eyes, or blue-green eyes, or blue or green eyes. So your eyes, it might not even be your eye color, it could just be your eyes in general. It's what people find intimidating about you. And a broad forehead. Okay, that's kind of a weird one, but it could be because you are very connected with your third eye, and that's why people are intimidated by you. It's like they feel like, oh my gosh, like they're so connected to their third eye, That's what they can focus on, is the third eye point, the Ajna chakra. And so anyways, this is what people find intimidating about you, pile 1. I hope that it resonates. If it does, leave me a thumbs up down below. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. And until next time, stay human. Bye, guys. Hello, my fellow humans that chose pile number 2, or if you chose this image, or you chose the bloodstone. This is going to be a reading on what do people find intimidating about you. Keeping in mind this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave what does not. And should it resonate, knowing that hitting the thumbs up button down below, subscribing to the channel, setting that notification bell, or commenting does allow me an opportunity to connect with your energy and get you out more resonant readings. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into our dice reading first and ask Source, what do people find intimidating about pile number 3, Source? What do people find intimidating about pile number 3? How can we help them understand what people find intimidating about them? So we have Aries, Moon, and 7th house. Your relationships right off the bat. The fact that you are very well versed in meeting people. You are someone who connects with people on an emotional level very quickly. Very, very quickly. Like this, like bursting out of the gate and being able to connect with people in a way that like not others are able to. Like they spend years and years getting to the level that you're at with people. And that intimidates them. They're like, holy moly, pile 2, like I barely know you, and yet you know like my whole life story, and they don't understand that. Like there's this feeling of like, why is that a thing? Like why are you able to connect with people in this way? And it's like you could just spend time asking people about themselves, like, hey, where are you from? What do you like to do? What's your favorite color? Like you ask general questions. It's not like it's anything special. But because of your energy, people feel very comfortable with approaching you and telling their whole life stories, and this makes other people feel intimidated by you. And I feel like the people who are intimidated by you also feel like they could tell you their life story, but this fear of like, oh my gosh, if pile 2 knows my story, like they're going to judge me, or they're going to have ammo against me. And there's this energy backing this where you don't actually use this against people. I don't feel like you've ever used this against someone in your whole life. And maybe if you did, it was because you felt the need to protect yourself, but you're not someone who gathers information about others to use as fuel. But there's this intimidated group of people who feel that that's exactly what you do. Like you gather information so that you can use it against them later, so that you can, you know, basically cut them off at the knees. And it doesn't matter where you're at. You could be out at Walmart. You could be out at lunch. You could be out at getting ice cream. You could be out at getting dinner, or you know, at your favorite store or the supermarket, or wherever it is that you go. It could be even the, what is that, the farmer's market type thing, you know, where the stores are all set up down the street and you just buy vegetables and fruit as you go, and food and whatever else you need, grains and stuff. Like, I don't know why I'm seeing that right now, but it's like there's a tons of people in this area, and it's like everybody that you talk to is like an old friend. And that's what people find intimidating about you. It's like you don't know a stranger. No matter where you go in your life, it could be even an entirely new culture, you still never know, like you don't know a stranger. You're just connecting with these people very quickly. You're capable of having a beautiful conversation with them. You're also capable of leading that person right away. Like you're a true leader, especially with this Aryan energy here. And so you also may be very abrasive at times, not to hurt people, but you feel like it's because this is Mars energy coming in, and Mars can be very aggressive. And so there's this energy that's also coming through, like if someone hurts you, there are times when you do come across as very abrasive, and so people are intimidated by you because they're like, oh, don't hurt pile 2, because if you hurt pile 2, they're gonna bite your head off. And it's just because I feel in the past that there's been situations where maybe things didn't turn out well for you, or you had to deal with a lot of emotional people, like people who projected onto you and people who hurt you in certain ways. And so you became very stern in protecting yourself and making sure that you always spoke your truth, or always spoke how you feel. And so really, in truth, pile 2, is that people find, what they find intimidating about you is the fact that you're capable of connecting with people on a very deep level without much effort. Like I said, it's this energy of you're connecting with this person, and in 5 minutes you know their whole life, and most people that would take years and years and years. And that's why for you it's like never having to worry about what's next. I apologize, my little pup dog here is very excited. Just a second, guys. Okay, so now that I took care of that, well, anyways, that's what they find intimidating about you, is just this ability to lead others, to influence people. And like, you are a leader, pile 2. You are a leader in life, and that's what people find intimidating about you. Whether or not you have influenced them, the people who find you intimidating, or they've just sat back and watched as you've influenced others, they find you intimidating because you're capable of leading people without much effort on your part. It might not feel like that to you personally, but it does look and appear that way to others. So you're very bold, though, with this Aryan energy. There's this very bold, confident, cool, and collected energy coming through for you. Also, there is a lot of cardinal energy out right now, and cardinal energy is all about starting things with a bang. So it's like you do start things with a bang. Like, you just come in and you're like, whether that, you know, is your relationships, whether that has to do with your work, whether that has to do with taking action on your emotional well-being, you're capable of taking that action without hesitation. Like, when the idea comes, or the intuitive thought, then the notion comes that you need to do this, you just go and you do it. You don't question it. So I do feel like 999 is a very powerful number for you. That is coming through right now. However, let's get some tarot out on it. So, Source, what do people find intimidating about pile 2? Thank you. What do people find intimidating about pile 2? Yeah, your emotional well-being, too, is something others find intimidating about you. Like, you're not someone who loses their cool very often. Like I said, you can be abrasive, but it's always with purpose. It's not necessarily that you lose your cool or anything like that. Like, you're just very... When you're very direct, this isn't even blunt. This feels very direct with people. Like, you don't beat around the bush. You're very direct and very succinct in the way that you approach people, and that comes off as abrasive to others. And you're very cool, calm, and collected, and that's why people are intimidated. It's like, oh my gosh, like, nothing riles up pile 2. Like, they're just, yeah, we have the Pope S coming out. They're just always cool and collected. They're always doing what they need to do. And it's like, even I feel there's times when people may try to irritate you or get you mad, and you don't, and that intimidates them as well, because it's like, oh, if that were me, I would have been pissed off, or I'd have been really upset about that. Yeah, you're extremely stable. I apologize, the dogs are moving around and it's making the camera bounce a little bit, so hang with me, guys. Anyways, you're extremely stable in life. Yeah, and you complete things that you start, and you're not afraid to go the distance. Like, that's the thing. Like, others are intimidated by you because you're not afraid to go the distance here, and you're willing to do what it takes. And this is like growing into this being of prudence, right? Like, the World card is all about becoming prudence and being able to walk through the portal of ascension. And it's like you're in this place of finding stability with the change in your life, and always growing in that way, but being stable with what it is that you need to do in the material realm. And that's what people find intimidating about you. Yeah. Like, this is interesting. There are people in your life that are trying to keep you trapped in a hopeless situation. They're trying to control some aspect of your life with the star here in reverse. They're trying to make you feel like you're not as good as you are, or that you're not deserving of what it is that you're asking for, or that, you know, ultimately there's something wrong with you, or you're crazy, or you're just too, why I keep hearing too emotional, you're too sensitive. I don't feel like that's you, but it's like they're like trying to convince you of something that you're not, and they're trying to make you feel really hopeless. And what they don't realize is that you see right through them. You're like, look, that's cool, keep doing your thing over there, and I'm gonna keep doing my thing, And I'm going to keep learning, and I'm going to keep growing, and I'm going to keep connecting with this life that I have and building it and finding some kind of stable energy here. And it's like, this really intimidates people because, like, no matter, again, that energy of, like, they try to make you feel a certain way. They try to come at you and knock you off your game. And it's like, no matter what they do, you're just sit back and you're completely covered. Like, you never let them see who you are. Like, look at how she's covered from head to toe. And the Popess in my deck, she has a very unique story. It's Joan, the Pope Joan, okay? And she is the first Pope that was a woman. In fact, I think she's the only Pope that's been a woman in all of history. But she posed as a man in that time. And she was voted in as Pope, and she had to keep herself covered so that people didn't realize that she was a woman. And the only reason that she got found out was because she was pregnant and she had the baby. And after she had the baby, her and her baby were stoned to death. And it's like, that's what people, they're trying to get you caught with your pants down in this situation where it's like, oh, I told you pile 2 was like that, or I told you pile 2 did this, or I told you pile 2 was crazy. And you're aware of this, like, you see this, you know what's going on, and you're not afraid to say, you know what, that's just who they are, I'm going to leave them to do their own thing, because eventually people who are like that, they get found. Like, they get found out. There's nothing that they can do to hide from what's coming to them, right? We think about the karmic cycle, what goes around comes around, right? And it's like, when people are trying to really interfere in others' paths, or they're really trying to interfere in their life, or they're trying to gossip, or they're trying to do these things behind people's backs, they're trying to be deceptive, they're trying to be deceitful, whatever it is that they're trying to be, that intention, that ultimately it comes down to the intention that they put into it, comes back around and it bites them, right? I always think of Ouroboros, the circle, the snake that's the circle. It's in Greek mythology, it's called Ouroboros, but it's like the world goes around, but it's a snake eating its tail. And that's exactly what, like, that karma is. It's like, you eat your own tail. Whether it's delicious or sour, that's up to you, right? And so what people are intimidated by is the fact that you're never falter from your path. You never get stuck on what it is that they're trying to bring in. And so that in turn makes them feel stuck, and they feel choked off by you. And so there's this negative intention that they're always trying to put onto you. It's like, whether they say it out loud or whether they just do, you know, what is it? Backhanded remarks. Like, that's what I'm hearing. Like, backhanded remarks to make you feel bad about yourself. You're like, I already know what they're trying to do. Like, I already know that they're trying to make me feel bad about what it is. And ultimately, it's just because they're mad, because they don't want to see you do better than they're doing. But the thing is that I don't feel like these people are necessarily doing that good. Like, it's just the idea that they have that they're doing good, the illusion that they're doing good. You know, when somebody drives a Ferrari, but they really could only afford a Honda, but they still go out and buy a Ferrari because it looks good, right? Like, that's the type of people that are coming after you. It's like, they don't know what they want. What's that song? It's like, ask them where they're going and they don't know. You know, it's like, ain't no stopping us now, I'm on the move. That song. That's what these people, it's like, if you ask them where they're going, they would have no answer for you. And it's like, if someone were to ask you where you're going, you're like, oh, I know exactly what I want. Here's my goals. Here's what I do. Here's my plan to get there. And it's like, you don't give away everything, but it's like, you could tell someone what it is that you want with your life. Whether that made sense or not, it didn't matter. It makes sense to you, and you move through that effortlessly. And that's also what helps you connect with other people. It's because you're a very well-rounded individual. And so I think the main thing that people are intimidated by is because you're popular without even trying to be popular. Like, there's not really a popular energy here. Like, if we had Leo energy coming out, even in your cards, we don't have Leo energy coming out. There's not really a popularity energy coming through. Even though we have Aquarius here, it's this energy that it's like people are just magnetically drawn to you without understanding or knowing why. And a lot of people don't like that. Like, there's some people who are just mad about that. They're like, why can't I be like that? Well, usually if you're asking that question in general, people have an opportunity to become like that if they only worked on themselves. But that's too hard. That's too difficult. I don't want to work on myself. I just want to be handed this gift or this ability without having to do any work to it, because pile 2 didn't have to do any work. And it's like, I already hear you laughing. You did do the work. Like, you did put in the effort. You did put in what was necessary to get you to the next step in life. And it's like, you weren't afraid to do that. Like I'm saying, there's a lot of cardinal energy here. And when you think about cardinal energy, the easiest way to explain it is like combustion. It's just like literally blowing up. Like, you just blow up and you do what you need to do. Not in a bad way. It's just you take that action. It's just immediate, though. There's no questioning it, right? It's like a firework in the sky. Like, you lit it and then it blew into the sky and then it turned into this beautiful thing. Like, that's exactly what cardinal energy is like. It's just very active, and it doesn't matter if it's air, fire, earth, or water. It's just very active. And so with 3 cardinal energies, you have the moon, which rules Cancer. You have 7th house, which is connected to Libra, and Aries energy. That is all 3 cardinal energies coming through here. And that's very powerful energy. You also have Capricorn energy here with the 4 of coins at the bottom of the deck. Whoa, okay. Oh, I had 2 cards that flew out, so we'll check this one out first. Look at this. We have the 7 of Swords that came out. Do you see this person behind here, like, looking at you from behind? There are a lot of people, I feel like, stab you in the back. They try to be your friends. They try to be in lieu with you, like, oh, me and pile 2, we're close. We're good friends. We do this. But as soon as you're gone and you turn your back, like, they stab you in the back. They also find reasons to try to bring you down. Like, you have this fish on this balloon, or this fish balloon here, and fish are all about prosperity, right, and abundance. You think about fish have the capability of feeding us, providing us with a good time if you like to fish, you know, adventure. They can do all kinds of things for us, right? And that's the thing. It's like you have this prosperity, but look at you minding your own business. You just doing what's good for you. And there's these people that are just, they're intimidated by you because nothing they do seems to affect you in any one way, shape, or form. This is being clarified by the King of Cups. Look at this fish coming in the window, guys. I cannot make this up. Look at that. She's coming in the window. You're just minding your own business. You could meditate. You might not, but you could just spend time like contemplating life. But look, this is very synchronistic here with the fish. It's like you're very prosperous and you let your prosperity speak for you. It's not even about having money. That's not what this is. This is about you having abundance of mind and thought, and your abundance in love, and your abundance in your ability to give to others, and seeing your abundance manifest. And with the King of Cups, that's what I was talking about earlier, is being very sound in your emotional state. Like, that's very intimidating to others. Look at this. We have the 5 of Swords here. You see this image? This is what people like want to do. They just want to cut you down. Like, over this star in reverse, you have this image coming out. It's like they're trying to cut you down from what it is that you're doing. It's like, oh, pile 2 can't do better than me. Like, if they do better than me, then that goes against my character. And it's like, really, in life, whatever another person chooses to do with their life, that's a reflection of that person choosing to do that. And that has nothing to do with anyone outside of that person. But some people don't see it that way. And so there's this energy that they want to cut you down, right? And I think it's interesting that they wanted me to talk about the 7 of Swords first, about stabbing you in the back. It's like there are times when they wish to your face they could really cut you down and make you feel a certain way. But you've grown so much over all the stuff that you've had to experience in your life. And that's why you're so centered in your emotional state. Like, you just know. It's like, if you're mad about whatever it is that I'm doing, why don't you pay attention to what you're doing? And it's like, you might not be afraid to tell someone that, or you might stand in silence. Like, I feel like most of you, pile 2, are these people who stand in silence. Like, you're just like, nope, that isn't even worth my time to say anything, because nothing I say is going to convince this person otherwise from what they already think. And so you just move about your business. Yeah. And so what people find intimidating about you is that you're not afraid to take risks. You're not afraid to do things that other people would just already go, like, I can't do that. We have 2-2 coming out and your pile 2. So we have 2-2-2 coming through here, right? And 2 is all about duality. And for me, 222 is about trusting the process, right? Understanding we have to trust what's happening in our lives. And that's something that you lean into very easily. But you also notice the duality in life, and you don't shy away from the duality. It's like when someone comes at you crooked, if you need to defend yourself, you will. And that's intimidating. That's why I was saying, like, sometimes you're abrasive, but it's like all with purpose. It's never because you're a ruthless person or because you're trying to make others feel a certain way. It's like that abrasiveness only comes out with purpose when it needs to. And so you're also seen as someone who takes these very scary risks, like things that no one else would think to do, and you effortlessly go through it. And it's like, even though it's scary, it may be something that you have to really face, and it may be something that you have to really put forth your best effort. It's like you still do it, and it's like other people are intimidated about you intimidated by you because of that. And look at this. Again, we have another 2 coming out here on the bottom of the deck with the 2 of Wands. Yeah, you are more focused on yourself right now. You are focusing on your journey, what it is that you want. You are looking at yourself, constantly seeing, what is it can I do to grow? What can I do to become the best version of myself? And that is something that's very intimidating. You know, when you're not worried about what other people are doing in life, like, you're focused on what you're doing. And so that's something that intimidates people, because it's like most people live by this societal belief that I am who others say I am. And you don't. You look at this. The 2 of Cups under, guys, I cannot make this up. The 2 of Cups underneath that. But look, she's a twin here. Right? She's a twin here. This looks like twins here too. It's like you're looking at your own reflection and saying, what can I do for myself? And you give that to yourself. You're not afraid to take action to give that to yourself. More cardinal energy. I can't make this up. This is a Libra card. This is an Aries card. And this is a Cancer card. We have Libra, Aries, and Cancer coming out right here. I love this synchronicity for your pile too. Like, that's incredible. Just incredible. All right, let's get some oracles out on it. Shh, don't tell pile 1. I actually used a different clarifying cards for you guys. I have no idea why, but it was absolutely necessary with all these synchronicities coming out. I absolutely love this. I love that. Look, you're just in your own world being happy. Right? Like with 42 coming out, number 6, that's all about balance. You see how she's pregnant on top of this dolphin here? It's like you're birthing into life what life you want to have, but you just focus on yourself and your own happiness, and you just go towards it. And, you know, honestly, pile 2, happiness can be a very intimidating thing to have. When you're happy in a world that's so sad and burdened by just life in general, look, we have dance, celebration coming out on the bottom. Look at how happy she is. She's just like celebrating all of life. But that's what others find intimidating about you, is because you're happy. You feel good about yourself. You feel good about what you're doing. You feel productive. And it's like that's very scary to people who don't know how to cultivate this for themselves. They're like, and people who are in this, it's like proud, like this proud energy. Like, I'm too proud to ask pile 2 how they did that. I'd rather cut pile 2 down to my size than to ask pile 2 how I can achieve what they've achieved. Right? Again, because what you've done is too risky. That means that they have to take chances where they're not willing to take chances, or to change beliefs that they're not willing to change. It means I have to look at the world an entirely different way, and I'm not ready to do that, because if I do, my whole world is going to crumple. Right? So you guys got 2 of these. We'll check these out. This one flipped over, ceremony, invocation. So what I was saying with the Popess here, you're very connected. You're either very connected to source, or you're very connected to your intuition, to your higher self, to whatever you feel is your creator, or whatever you feel is the guiding light in your life. You're very connected to that, and you're not afraid to connect with that when the time comes. That helps you make decisions, that helps you move forward in life, that helps you do what you need to do. You take that very seriously. This contemplation energy that I was feeling, this is exactly that same energy. It's like you spend time contemplating what needs to be done, and then listening to yourself and finding the right path for you. And then boom, you're not afraid to take that path. You just right away jump into it. And that's intimidating to others too, because again, that's what that risk is. It's like, oh, I can't do that. Like, I get a great idea, but I just pull the handbrake on my mind because I don't feel good enough. And you're like, I'm not going to let that handbrake get pulled. I'm going to go and do what needs to be done. And you're very grounded. As I was saying, you're very stable. You have this foundation that's built for you. And it's interesting because over here on the bottom of this deck, we had House 6 coming out, which is establishing a foundation. Very grounded here, right? Very stable. And so it's like interesting because you're seen as someone who's got their feet on the ground. Maybe with your feet in the ground, but your head in the sky, your head in the clouds. It's like, and that's intimidating. That's what others find intimidating because there's nothing that they can do to shake your foundation. There's nothing they can do to shake your groundedness. With number 7 up here, you are seen as someone who's extremely lucky, right? 7th house, number 7. And it's like for you, I feel like you're like, no, I've worked really hard for what I have. We have Cancer energy making its way out on the table. I knew it would with the moon here. Right? Cancer is ruled by the moon, and we have nurture, comfort, and protection. Right? You're a very nurturing person. You're very comforting. You are seen as someone who's very protected, and this is something that's intimidating to others. Right? Because it's like, no matter what happens, you're still very authentic to yourself. And yin energy with Taurus, Cancer, Virgo, Scorpio, Capricorn, and Pisces. We have intuition, trust, patience, spirituality, and receptivity. I love this is more synchronistic here, especially with this ceremony invocation card. What I was saying is like you connect with that, you receive your messages, but you also aren't afraid to take action, to step into that yang energy, which is that Aryan energy, the air and the fire energy. It's like a good balance between masculine and feminine energy. You're very centered between those two energies, which is a very beautiful thing. Also, you could be calling in love, or you have a very loving relationship. It's something that is very divinely guided here with this angel up here. This definitely feels like Archangel Gabriel, especially with this horn here. Archangel Gabriel is a messenger angel and helps with, and it's unknown if it's female energy or a masculine energy. It appears differently for many people. Here it seems very feminine, again connecting with that yin energy, and I feel like it's very fluid, but this feels very synchronistic here. It's that you're calling in the love of your life, or you are connecting currently with the love of your life, and you're aware of this, and it's someone who sees you as their counterpart, like their equal. And it's like I keep hearing a tale as old as time. So there's something about your connection with this person that's going to be told for ages, for millennia, especially with all these planets up here. It's like something that is very unique, and you may build together with this person. You may be able to manifest things with this person that you weren't able to do on your own. There's this like mission that's completing together, but you see how they're dressed in these very similar colors. So it's like you are both manifesting each other before you even realized you were trying to manifest one another. So let's see what's on the back of this. The romantics. We have number 29. I allow romance to touch my heart every day. Yeah, so there is definitely this feeling of love coming in for you. We have number 11 here, which is a very spiritual number. That is all. For me, number 11 is all about ascension. And so this definitely feels like a divine connection. This is all about divine timing, but it has taken a while to get here because of you having to embody the truth of your own energy. It says modes of behavior and beliefs, friends and family, even a place where we... Is this the right one? Hold on. I don't know if I'm... Yeah, okay. Even a place we have lived in for years start to look strangely different when seen through the eyes of one in love. Many people become addicted to the intoxication of romance, feeling touched by great fortune and throwing caution to the wind. For them, romance comes in short, contrived bursts rather than a sustained lifetime of affection that soulmates enjoy. It is impossible to know whether a romance is going to last, which makes it one of the most maddening and most exciting experiences of our lives. It seems so vastly important, and it may very well be. If you truly found your other half, the first blush of romance deepens and gets better in ways that you cannot even imagine. The reason romance feels so good is because it is very similar to being with your soulmate. The difference is that when you are with your soulmate, there is no doubt, which we can assure you is a heavenly way to live. So a lot of people romanticize your life as well. And it's like, that's what's so intimidating, is their own illusion about your life. Like, oh, if I lived like pile 2, I would be so much better off. I would have my dream life. I would do this. It's like a lot of people romanticize your life, and that's what this is saying. I do feel like you are calling in a connection with this card. Some of you may be seeing someone that you're very connected to, or you have a very deep connection with right off the bat, and you're not sure where it's going. So just, let things play out by ear. And that's intimidating to others too, because they may see you happy and not understand why you're so happy, and then seeing you connect with somebody and they're like, oh, why is pile 2 connecting with this person? That person doesn't seem like they would ever go for pile 2 or whatever. It's like, again, their own illusion of what your life should be or could be. It's that romanticization that's coming through here. Okay, so this is what other people find intimidating about you, pile 2. I hope that it resonates. If it does, make sure you hit that thumbs up button down below. I'm going to go ahead and leave it there and get on out of here. And until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow humans that chose pile number 3. This is for those that chose either this image or this seashell right here. This is going to be your reading on what do people find intimidating about you. We'll check out that card later. As always, we will start with the dice. I totally forgot to do some descriptions on pile 2. Don't tell pile 2. I'll make sure I get some for you. But let's go ahead and ask, without further ado, if this resonates with you by hitting that thumbs up button down below, subscribing and commenting and setting the notification bell allows me an opportunity to connect with your energy and get you out more resonant readings. So let's get into your reading, pile 3. Source for pile number 3. What do other people find intimidating about pile number 3? What messages can you give us to help us understand what people find intimidating about pile number 3, source? There's a bird outside my window taking a bath in the still water that's out there. It looks like a little, what are they called, greckles or something like that? So we have 7th house, Leo, and Uranus energy coming out here. Y'all are some eccentric guys, aren't you? Just unique and fun. You like change. You like radical change. You relish in radical change. So I'm going to try and see if this will work for me. My battery is running a little low. I apologize. But let me see if I can. It is yelling at me. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, now that we got a charge going, let's talk about your dice, pile 3. So thank you for your patience. I know that only seemed like a few seconds for you, but gave me time to take care of some things and come back and connect with your energy here. So what do people find intimidating about you is the fact that you're someone who radically changes. It's like one day you look like this and the next day you look like this. So it definitely feels like your looks are always changing, like you're always doing something that creates some sort of eccentric, like this is like eccentric change, like for people are like, whoa, hold up. You're also very innovative and very resourceful in life. Like you're very imaginative and creative, especially with this Leo energy, and it has to do with relationships too. You're very innovative in your relationships. So I feel like people come to you for relationship advice, and the advice that you give them, when they follow it, it works, and that surprises them. And so that might intimidate others because it's like, why didn't I think of that? But it's just because you see things from outside of the box. Like, especially with this Uranus energy, you have Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and that's very unique and original energy. And it's like outside of the everyday norm. People don't normally see things the way you do. Like, you're an original, a one of one. Like, that's what you are, right? You're just this original product. And it's very unique, and you're very free when it comes to your life. Like, you live freely, you live as you are, and you're not afraid to show yourself out in society, among your friends, among people. You may take care of people, or you may get involved in groups that take care of people, and that's something that you find very near and dear to your heart. Something that is very special to you is to help others in need, and that's something that you look forward to. Especially with the 7th house here, we have the house of Libra, but it is the one of connections, business connections, personal relations, and romantic relationships. And so it's like this really has to do with the people in your life. You're always changing when it comes to the people in your life. Like no one actually knows what to expect from you. And on top of that, with this Leo energy, you are very much in the spotlight. So wherever you go, you stand out. Like you are in the spotlight, whether you want to be or not. Like you're just very much the center of attention. People gravitate toward you. People want to talk to you. People want to see you. People want to see what it is that you think. They're like, oh, let me talk to pile number 3. Let me see what's going on with pile number 3. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me do this. And you're always like, why do people approach me? And it's just because you have a very contagious energy. Like it's very much you're playful, you're a leader, you embrace your inner child. You may go into places that are very boring and you bring the light of life with you, and it's just something that you naturally do. You are very charismatic and generous. You give a lot. Like that's something that really stands out for me here is this generous energy, and that's something that people find intimidating about you because like you may not have very much to give, but you're still giving. Like you may only have $10 to your name, and if that $10 would help somebody to either get a meal or have a place that's warm to sleep or just help them out in general, like you're going to be the person that gives it to them. And that's just an example here. It's like you're always giving, and it's like you don't complain about things, and that's what people are intimidated by, because it's like, how can someone be so generous and still have really nothing to complain about, even if they're not like leagues apart from a general person? Like you're just an average person that gives because you like to give. Like it makes you feel good. Your love language could also be gifts of love. Like that could be your love language, and that's what makes you feel really good. Like you did something of service was by giving something that meant something to another person. It might not even be money. This could just be you pay attention to people, and when you gift them something, you gift them something that they would enjoy, that they would actually use, not something where they're like, oh, haha, you know, like that's funny, whatever. No, like you gift them something that they're like, whoa, how did you know that I would actually use this or that I needed this? And that's like something you pay attention to the details, and that's what people find intimidating about you, because you're very observant. You pay attention to those small details constantly, and that's with everything in your life. And I feel like that's what leads you into being very imaginative and creative when it comes to your connections, because it's those little details that play all the difference in your connections, right? So also you're very outgoing and warm, and you have this sense of glamour to you. So like even if you're erratic with the way that you dress, like there's this sense of glamour, like you belong on a runway somewhere, or like just like people want to be styled the way that you're styled. They really enjoy it. So let's go ahead and ask the tarot some more source for pile number 3. What do people find intimidating about pile number 3? What do people find intimidating about pile number 3? Thank you. What do people find intimidating about pile number 3, source? You have a lot of options. Like people want to be in your life. Love options, connection options. That's what people find intimidating. It's like options just come to your doorstep and you don't have to try for them. What do people find intimidating about pile number 3, source? Whoa. Leo energy. You could very well have Leo highly aspect in your chart. Leo sun, Leo Uranus, Leo in the 7th house, or Uranus in the 7th house as well. But it's you could have Leo very highly aspect. I did hear Leo moon and a Leo rising. So with that being said, though, like you're the light of life. Like that's what I was saying. Like the sun here coming out for you. It's like being the light of life. It's like, and look, like I feel like this person's coming to them and asking them for advice, asking them for guidance, and it's like you give freely. Like you're not gonna hold off on someone just because, like, you know, like you feel too good for that, or like, oh no, it's above you or beyond you or below you or something like that. Like no, you genuinely care about others, and I feel like people come to you for relationship advice. Like, I can't get that out of my mind here. Like, that's something that keeps popping up. It's like they come to you because they don't know what to do, and they're like seeking your words of wisdom and seeking the light. It's almost like people hope to have, this is a weird thing, but it's almost like people hope to have a problem in their relationship just so they could spend some time with you and see you for who you are. Like, you're shining. So some of you could be a relationship counselor. Yeah, and you overcome a lot. Like, you persevere through many things. The Nine of Swords on the bottom of the deck here. You persevere through anything that's negative. Like, you find a unique way to get through it, to go through the storm. It's not that you don't have storms in your life, which some people do think like everything is easy for you, it's handed to you, you don't have to deal with anything. The truth of the matter is that you're very creative and crafty in the way that you approach things. Like, and networking is very easy for you. And it's they find it intimidating because if someone understands or sees the life that you've gone through and they see the way you view life, it's so much bigger than what they see life. Like, something that you've been through, just one situation would have crippled them and they would have never been able to move again, and yet somehow you became this stronger person because of it. You became this beautiful individual. You shine so bright, like you are the sun. You may have come from another pile, and welcome if you have. If not, that's okay. I'm not going to say what pile it is in case you didn't resonate with it. That's fine, because this is its own energy as well. So we do have the Two of Coins reversed, and we have the Pope. Yeah, some big energy. Look, people coming to you for guidance. That's what others find intimidating about you. This is what people are intimidated by because you're a natural born leader. You naturally are capable of giving others advice. Even if you haven't been in a situation that they've been in, there's something about you that's able to see from their shoes, to see, or if it's not from their shoes, it's like you intuitively pick up on what's right for them, or you have the psychic gift of knowing what's in their heart, or you get guidance from your guides, or you hear their guides talking, or like, you see what I'm saying? Like, there's something that comes from source to you in a gift of helping others find their way. And it's almost like, you know, it's not that people want to go through something bad to get to you. It's just that, like, it's almost like they don't know how else to approach you because you're in this position of leadership, right? Especially with the Sun and the Pope coming out together. There's like this position of leadership, being in the spotlight. Some of you could have influence in your community. Like, this is a great influence here. And it might not seem that big. Like, it could be as simple as being like a teen counselor, or like you know, like an advocate for something, or, you know, maybe you just help people by naturally healing them. Like, I'm hearing an essential oils health coach or something like that. You know, it could just be like something you're very passionate about, but it's intimidating to others because your passion shines through and you naturally know how to help others. Like, you naturally know how to gift more. Like, it's like vitality. That's what I'm getting. It's like vitality to others, especially with the Sun here. It feels like this is like vital life energy that you naturally gift to others, but it's like this staff that he's holding feels like an antenna, like you're constantly picking up on. So it's like if someone comes, this is just an example, but say you work with natural herbs and essential oils, and it's like someone comes to you and they have an ailment. You listen to their ailment, and while it might sound like something over here that you would naturally treat with whatever this oil is, something like guide you to being like, oh, okay, it feels like, yeah, it might be this, so we can absolutely look at this, but I'm also picking up that it could be XYZ over here, so I'm actually going to focus on that first. And you focusing on that first actually yields them results, and because of that, they're just like, oh my gosh, like, I've been to so many people, like, I tried to fix this, I've tried to overcome this, and yet I come to you and you just knew exactly how to help me. And that's what it's like, this antenna. Like, you could see auras, you could be tapped into the Cashapp records, like this feels very tapped in to the light. Like, you see the light, or you hear their souls call, and some of you could be mediums, but it's just overall, like, people are intimidated by this ability that you have to really see at the core of what they're suffering through or what they're experiencing. It doesn't necessarily have to be suffering. It's just like you have this ability to see people without them ever telling you. It's almost like they didn't have to say 2 words to you, but you somehow know exactly everything that they're going through. And you're capable of doing multiple things at once. Like, you don't have to just focus on one thing at a time. Like, you're capable of listening to them, and all the while, it's like while you're listening to them, it's like you're gaining information to get a solution at the same time. So I feel like you are very apt problem solvers, and because of that, people like are very intimidated at how easily it seems you're able to solve problems, and massive problems, not just small problems, but like massive problems in life for yourself and for others as well. And so that is what people find intimidating about you. But this ability to capture red flags and to make the best of a bad situation and to overcome unlikely events, like, that's something that people truly do notice. It's like, where some people think it might be easy, whatever it is that you do, like, that's kind of like an underlying theme across the readings today. It's like this feeling of, oh, things are very easy, things are very simple, and it's not. And it's like, when people realize what it is that you've been through, they see how you've basically made orange juice without oranges, right? Like, you didn't even have oranges to begin with, but somehow you made orange juice, and it still tastes, it's like the most delicious orange juice ever. And it's just because you're crafty and you're witty and you're very intelligent and you're knowledgeable, and it's like you never stop learning and you never stop studying and you never stop growing. And whatever it is that you're very passionate about, because you're so passionate about it, people are naturally drawn to you. Interesting that we would have the 2 of diamonds come out over the 2 of coins, which 2 of diamonds is the 2 of coins if we were to translate, but also representing the Popess here. And we have the Pope and the Popess here. So this balance between receptive and giving energy. Like, even if people don't give to you, it doesn't matter. You still gain something from the experience, whether that's actual experience or whether that's, you know, people just saying, wow, thank you so much, and just, you know, like giving love back to you. And it's like you still gain something, and it's not, you're not even doing it to gain anything. That's not why you do this. It's like you're just doing it because you're so passionate about it. And that's what people find intimidating about you, because it's like, how is it so lucky for them? You know, and it's not, you're just very passionate about it, and you put in the work and you do what's necessary. That's what, sometimes it trips me out. Like, people really think that they're, to get to where you want to go, I guess a lot of people really believe that that's just going to fall into your lap. And it's just interesting that people feel that way. And I feel there's a lot of people, the reason I'm bringing it up is because there's a lot of people who feel that way about you. Like, it's just all fell in your lap. Oh, it was just something that was given to you. And like, it's not. That's not at all what it is. I don't know why I felt like turning this one over. We have Taurus energy with Capricorn energy here. Like, I like this image here. Like, he's looking in, or this person is looking in, and they're like watching. It's like from the outside looking in. Like, they see you stable, they see you have foundation in your life, they see you happy, they see you excited, they see you passionate, and everyone else is on the outside looking in. And that's why it's like they almost wish they had a problem or some sort of situation or circumstance that would bring them closer to you. But it's like, without that situation, they're not going to be able to get close to you because you're so busy. You've got other things that are going on. You're busy taking care of yourself when it matters and balancing out your mental state, and also making sure that you have enough to give to others. And you're always dealing with something, it seems like, not in a bad way. It just seems like this is exactly what you're drawn to. You're just really drawn to acts of humanity, acts of serving others, acts of helping others. You're a very helpful person. And it's almost like people who are intimidated by you are in disbelief that you even exist. Yeah, well, didn't I say that? Like, people are scared because you have options. Like, you have options for love, you have options for friends, you have options for jobs, you have options for everything. The other thing that really intimidates them is that you're really, really good at setting boundaries. Like, when it's time to shut off, you shut off. You're like, nope, I'm done. I got to get out of here, and I'm over it. And that intimidates others greatly. Let's see what this one is. Oh, so yeah, Leo, very prominent. We have strength being represented by the Ace of Clubs here or the Ace of Wands, like you're very action oriented, but your strength, like that's where you shine at, is giving to others. You have this strength in helping others, and that's something that you're very strong at doing. And people are really drawn to that. You are meant to be in the spotlight. Like if you're not, and again, the spotlight, so when we say spotlight as a reader, that doesn't necessarily mean fame and fortune. I gotta be an actor or a singer or this or that. It could absolutely mean that, but understanding there are much smaller scales of being in the spotlight. You could be someone that the community relies on for their opinions, for their guidance, for their trust, you know, like, and that's being in the spotlight. It could be a small group of 3 people who are just reliant on you for your wisdom, right? And so that's being in the spotlight, because you're the center of someone's world. It doesn't have to be millions of people. It could just be a small group, but you're the center of their world. You're the center of their ability to do some sort of successful endeavor. And so when we say in the spotlight, it doesn't have to be under the millions, right? Like, or over the millions. It means that someone somewhere really depends on you showing up as you do, because without you, who would they be? It's not even a bad thing. It's just literally like you've helped them change the way that they show up in their life, and that matters so much to someone out there. And that's what intimidates people, because they see this gravitational pull towards you. You may have even had an impact on the people who are intimidated by you, and it's just like they know that you help very much, but there's still this underlying, like, I can't believe that it seems so easy for pile 3. And you know, it's not, like, it's not so easy. There's a lot more to it than that. So let's get some oracles out on it for you, pile 3. I love your reading. I'm so glad this was the 3rd pile. Like, your reading is absolutely beautiful. You guys are very interesting and intriguing people. Yeah, you're very spiritual. And if you don't feel very spiritual, it's just you're very tapped in without knowing you're tapped in. And that happens, right? Not everybody's like, oh, I'm on the spiritual journey. I've done the spiritual ascension. I've done this. Like, you could just be someone who very easily connects with the gut feeling, and you take action based on that gut feeling. But with Eagle Communion here, it's like, see how he's like talking to the eagle here. And that's exactly what's going on. This also makes me feel, again, like that ancient wisdom and ancient medicine healing practices, like a shaman who heals others through the spiritual realm. You also have the eagle here, which represents wisdom and independence and freedom. The reason you do this is because it brings freedom into your life, and a sense of independence and a sense of purpose is the main thing here. It's like your passion is derived around your sense of purpose. There's a beautiful cat that's just crossing my path right now. It's like black with brown all over. It looks like a mural cat. It's very beautiful. Or, yeah, mural or brindle. Not really brindle though. Like not quite like that. It was more like mural. You know when the dogs have it like spotted on them? That's what it was. Yeah, and you're capable of moving mountains. Like, you may not see it that way, but somehow, some way, shape, or form, you're able to connect with this inner knowing, and you're able to move mountains. You may even wonder why people come to you for advice. It's because your advice is sound. Like, don't question your advice, pile 3. Okay? Because your advice is sound. Like, how you help others is a very profound and sound way, and that's something that you should trust and believe in, because you have a unique gift. You have a unique gift to offer others. So don't ever question why people come to you. It's not to be self-centered about it by any means, but believe in yourself, right? Others very much believe in you. And I can understand why. You just have this ability to help others at their lowest moments, it feels. How beautiful is that? Yeah, look. We have yang or yin energy. We have intuition, trust, patience, spirituality, and receptivity. So regardless if you're spiritual or not, you just have this trust in your intuition, and you receive messages. And that's what really connects you with that spiritual realm. Like, that's what I'm saying. Not everybody that's on this journey is spiritual. And sometimes in the spiritual community, in the tarot community, we're like, oh, everybody's spiritual. You're here watching tarot. You know, tarot's a way of advice. Some people just need something as advice, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that they're on the spiritual journey, but if you are, it's definitely showing. Like, understand that if you're on the spiritual journey, it is showing, and if you're not, that's fine. Just knowing that you trusting, the cat's back too, just came over here. Yeah, it's definitely like a mural color. So yeah, you're unique. You stand out. Whether you want to or not, you stand out. I think that's why that cat's coming through. And cats also represent connection with intuition, right? And so for it to cross your path, knowing that that's a very intuitive moment for you. But you're very connected with your intuition. You rely on it. You have for your life. And that's something you deeply rely on. Yes, and people are intimidated by you because you move from this place of fear. You may have been in a situation before where darkness was surrounding your life, and you move from this place of fear into this place of prosperity, and you've really grown a lot since people have seen you. We have number 38, which is 11, and 11 is a very spiritual number. It's that is the number of going through ascension and really connecting with source and really being able to move forward. Again, I'm not trying to push that because that's not at all. It's just the connection with everything coming out in your cards is very much pointing towards spirituality. So this is a very spiritual pile. Yet not everyone here will be spiritual, and that's okay. For those of you that aren't, just understand that you're doing exactly what you're meant to be doing. That's beautiful. It's like, without question, you just know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Oh, we have the North Node coming out, destined to have. You're on your North Star, like you're doing exactly what you're meant to be doing, and then this card gets turned over. Like, I couldn't have said it better. Source is like, nope, they're doing what they're meant to be doing, and then it's like, let me show you. Here's the North Node, y'all. Here's the North Node. This is you doing exactly what your soul purpose is. Didn't I say that over here with Eagle Communion? Like, you're in your sense of purpose, and you have the North Node. That's you letting go of the South Node, letting go of what was comfortable for you, right? Letting go of this fear and poverty, coming into abundance and prosperity. That's what you're destined to have in this life. How absolutely incredible. Let's take a look at your card. Like, this is the thing, like, people are intimidated by you because things that strike them, like, they feel like they're changing. They're like, oh, I'm so good at this journey. I'm so good at growing. I'm so good at letting go. I'm so good at transforming. And it's like, yet something will happen and it'll strike them and they'll be completely incapable of moving. Like, this feels catatonic. And then here you come in, right, in this little, you look like this little cherub coming in with your butterfly wings because you have these new ideas. You're very imaginative. You're very open. And you're come to give them something that will help them feel better, right? And that's exactly what this feels like to me. It's like, this is a rainy storm. This is a huge storm for them, but you're like bringing roses in light of the storm. It's like, don't let the storm knock you down. Don't let it get you underneath, under bad weather or whatever. Are these skulls on the bottom? What are these? Honestly, I don't know what those are. But then you have like the swords cards here. This feels like death to me. It's like, so maybe you're a grief counselor and people really they rely on you to help overcome their grief. But it's like with the swords here and the axe, it's like they go through something that they just can't regain strength from, regain confidence. And yet here you come in and it's like you have this guidance and you're like, it's okay. You've done an amazing job. And I feel like you're so humble about it too. Like, you're just very open. And again, with relationships, that would make sense too with the grief counselor, because those are relationships that have ended that feels like they had no closure. And it feels like you're helping people find closure. It feels like you're helping others find a way in the darkness. And that's what people find intimidating about you, because it's just so natural for you. There's like never anything that you're no question in what it is that you're meant to do. Look, with number 44, the traumatized. I acknowledge that I've been traumatized, but also that I'm healing. This is why people are intimidated by you, because they come to you with traumas. They're like huge traumas. And with master number 44 coming out here, this is all about you being stable in the face of trauma. Like, you don't let trauma knock you down. It's like, it's a place for you to grow, and you've embraced that, right? What a beautiful card. Like, it's heavy. It's heavy, but what a beautiful confirmation. This says, to get well, we must know we are sick, especially in the case of trauma. A major problem is that the experiences that most affect us are all too often buried in our consciousness, or, if acknowledged, are minimized in their ability to affect us now. No one wants to admit that they are not able to live up to the level of stoicism and strength that was portrayed in the idealized literature and dramatizations of the past. Human beings were most likely no better able to deal with traumas in the past than we are today. They probably became just as affected as anyone today experiencing similar experiences, but suffered in silence. Their trauma-influenced behavior accepted as just who they were. Things were much harder, and people did not expect anywhere near the level of joy, comfort, and leisure time that now is held up for envious scrutiny every day, in every way technologically possible. The violence of the pace of everyday life in the 21st century and the daily tsunami of information, most of it meant to frighten and control us, would have been enough to traumatize anyone born 100 years ago or more. So it's like you just see things different than the everyday person. We were talking about that with the Uranus energy. It's like people they're in awe. It's like in awe and being intimidated at you by this, being intimidated by you at the same time, because it's like you just have this way of seeing life, the bigger picture, and it's like, don't let these things affect you. And it's like, okay, if it's affecting you, try this. And people like try it, and then it works, and they're like, whoa, that actually worked. Like, no one else has been able to help me through. And that's why people are intimidated by you, because you're not just someone out there trying to gain a leg up on the journey. Like, you actually know what you're talking about. Like, you actually know what's going on, and you have good wisdom. Like, it's a solid wisdom giving to others, and that's what intimidates people. That's why they're intimidated by you, because it's like you actually know what you're talking about, and you live it, and you experience it, and you're walking in your purpose. Like, there can't be more clear than this. So you guys happen to connect with a lot of traumatized individuals. People have been through the ringer. Why is that? Because you yourself have overcome a lot in your life, and it's a very beautiful thing. Honestly, Pile 3, I loved your reading, but this is what I have for you. I'm going to leave it there. If it resonated, leave a thumbs up down below. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here, but until next time, stay human. Bye, guys.